Hey, this is Judah Mantel for SceneForge Studio, and in this video I'm going to go over version 0.7.8. It brings a great feature from the main SceneForge application to SceneForge server to improve your compositing workflow. So let's jump right in. So I have this example scene here. We're using the same footage that I always like to use because it works really well. And we'll get a good head-on shot of our character here. There he is. Increase the despill a little bit, and this is a pretty good key. You'll see if I go to the alpha mask, we actually have even the center of our video camera keyed out as well, which looks really great. So you'll notice the new thing in this version is that on the top left of the screen we have the color grade button. Now you might be thinking, why do we have a color grade button if we already have color correction over here? Well, the answer is that the color correction over here is two things. One, it only gets applied to our main source footage. So if I were to add another layer underneath or on top, select an image file, and I'm going to grab this one right here. You'll see that if I put it underneath, and we can see both, any adjustments I make over here do not get applied to the layer underneath. And it's also important to note that this is applied on the graphics card level, the lowest level of this compositor possible, because it's directly from the input texture that you're giving into the system. So that's either the video source file, like we have here, or it could be a live camera, or another input, whatever you want. So keep that in mind in terms of what this is actually doing. So I'm going to make sure this is reset. And so that's where this new menu comes into play. We can open this up. And it's the same color grading menu that you'll be familiar with if you tried this in the main SceneForge app. I recommend taking a look at an earlier video I made that goes over all of these settings because it's basically the same. But this does have a lot of the stuff duplicated. You can see in color adjustments we still have the hue, shift, saturation, contrast, with the difference being it gets applied to everything, all of our layers, which is useful in many cases. It is more advanced than the one over here because it has things like the channel mixer for individual RGB channels, and coming soon it'll have full trackballs for the lift, gamma, gain, as well as highlights, shadows, and midtones, which is really great to kind of put this on par with other color grading systems that are available. So this will really improve your overall compositing workflow with so many more options to be working with. So now you can see the way this works. I recommend experimenting with this system. Now, because this is basically duplicated from the other one, you'll see we have these save and load from file buttons. This is great because you can have a preset that you create and you like, save it to a file here. This is a SFCC file, and that's fully interchangeable between SceneForge Server and SceneForge Studio, which is great if you have something you're kind of working together on, and even better because you can share these files with other SceneForge users. They're universal and they work really well. There are a couple other improvements to this new version, just some small bug fixes for the background. The most notable ones is that the garbage matte system has been improved to be a little more precise and accurate. So you can see if I were to zoom in on just my square here, let's assume that this is not moving footage. If I scroll down in the clipping, I can open up my garbage matte editor, and now I have a little green cursor, and I can just manually select my points, like so. I'm not going to get too precise with it, but now we have something like this. And we can finish that off, and now we have our footage removed. Of course, you'd spend a little more time on this than I did, but you'll see it works a lot better, and it all gets saved as you'd expect. Very happy with that. And that is basically everything in this release. If you have any questions, leave a comment and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. It's worth noting that this new SceneForge server system is still in alpha, so there are some quirks being ironed out, and there's always more new features coming with every update. It is only available to pro users at this time, but if you are interested in giving it a try, you can reach out to judah@sceneforge.app, and I'll get you set up with a trial license to get some valuable feedback, because it's always incredibly helpful. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.